Well, good morning, everybody. Take a few moments to say a few words. I'm thrilled to be here with you all in support of our students. Creating a caring and connected school community. That is the first priority of the Spokane Public Schools Strategic Plan of 2022, a strategic plan that was created by a school board focused on equity and listening to our community, and thankfully, the two aligned. The board prioritized assessing and expanding our extracurricular activities for the past 2 years with our students and the strategic plan in mind, and thanks to all the staff and the leadership of Adam Swineyard for that work. This work has taken on an importance we didn't even fully appreciate as we learn more about mental health and screen time. The board is grateful to our community partners doing this important work with us. When we all row in the same direction, we can go far in supporting our students. So thank you for being here. And now I'll bring up Adam Swineyard.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today to talk about what the future looks like in our community for our youth. And something that we have been very mindful of is some of the changes over the last really decade and a half in kids. And one of the things that we've observed with all their amazing talents and potential and enthusiasm, we've seen an increased level of disengagement from our kids. And the pandemic didn't cause that, but it certainly accelerated it. And we see that manifested in lots of different ways when kids are disengaged. We see that in absenteeism, but we also see it when kids come to school and maybe don't engage in what's happening in their classwork. And we could probably spend a significant amount of time talking about what are the antecedents to that. And there are likely a range of them. One significant contributing factor that is demonstrating itself to be pretty pronounced and pretty serious is the amount of time that kids are spending on screens. And not just an hour, 2 hours. The research is showing us is that kids are spending 5, 6, 7, 8 hours on personal devices. Just the sleep deprivation alone should have us really concerned with their well-being, not to mention what they're ingesting in infinite amount of content on social media, on streaming devices, in games. They're getting introduced at volumes we've never seen before to bullying, harassment, drug use, normalization of violence, sexualization, you name it, it's a sewer. There are many amazing things about technology, and that's not what our focus is about. It's not about we're going to remove all the devices and no one should ever be on the screen. It's part of our reality. It's not going anywhere. But something that is becoming increasingly clear is that the amount of time that kids are on personal devices is detrimental to their well-being and is having a significant impact on the childhood experience. We've never had an adversary to compete with the attention of kids like we have with technology. So what do we do as a community? How do we move forward? And you're seeing this conversation play out all across the country. And we really believe there's some practical things that we can do to engage our kids, create a sense of belonging, create a sense of connection and well-being. And that's really what this initiative is all about, is how do we work together to do that. And so we're going to talk just a little bit about what Launch Northwest means and what the work that we're doing with Launch Northwest and Innovia and our community partners. And it's really about working together. And we're going to be doing some things inside of our school district that we think is the practical next steps. One of those is setting some new boundaries on how much kids are using and have access to their device during the school day. And so we have a new cell phone policy that'll be going into effect. It'll be a transition, not an event, because these devices, they are highly addictive. And kids have normalized having them on them all the time, looking at them all the time, and as adults, that has been normalized as well, right? Walk into a restaurant and how many people have their phone out? So this has become a part of our world. So how do we help kids develop some healthy boundaries, some healthy routines, and some healthy alternatives? So we're addressing that inside of our schools with some boundaries with our cell phone policy. We need to raise awareness with parents around what supervisory tools are available to them. some of it is just a gap in knowledge. And we need to learn together. I'm a parent of a teenager, and I'm walking the same road as a dad of how do we how do we create healthy boundaries for our kids. And there's supervisory tools that we can learn as the adults together to utilize for them. Specifically, what this initiative is about, though, is every kid, every day, being active outside of the school day. So instead of telling kids, we're taking your advice, we're going to confiscate it, if we do that, we're going to set off millions of power struggles throughout the community, and power struggles lead to conflict, and conflict leads to rupture. And we don't want to put our families in those positions. We want to help them and be an aid to them. Every kid, every day, having something to do outside of the school day. That's a pretty ambitious vision. And the research is really clear in that face-to-face time has a positive impact on overall well-being and mental health. And the research is really clear that participation in activities and athletics after school has a positive impact on youth's social development, emotional development, physical development, academic development. Like, this is the right investment and right focus for us. But in order to make that happen, it's going to be work, and it's going to take a collective community. A school district can't do it on its own. A Parks and Rec department can't do it on. A nonprofit can't do it on their own. Only together can we provide this type of experience for our kids. And it's going to take programming and infrastructure. If you have great programming and no infrastructure, then you have to turn kids away. And we already are starting to experience that. We had to turn away baseball teams last year because we were out of fields. We have 3 C-Squad teams at Ferris because we have over 100 students that are participating in volleyball. We have 150 kids at Rogers High School that turned out for football this year. We have performing arts that are blossoming. We have clubs that are expanding. And so it's going to take infrastructure and spaces to have that. And if you have infrastructure and no programming, then you have beautiful spaces that sit empty. So we have to have both, and it takes partnerships to do both, and that's really what this conversation is about today. Some of the things that will be involved in Launch Northwest and our partnership with the school district is some really key strategies. And I'm just going to share a couple examples of those. One is we are developing a community website directory for all the activities and athletics that are available in our community. It's a lot of work for families to try to figure out where are the activities, where's the sign up, where's the link, when is it offered. We have developed a website that will launch here in the next week. We're going to be inviting community partners to add their programming to the website, a one-stop shop for our family to say, let's get our kids engaged after school, and where do we go? Not just Spokane Public Schools activities, not just Parks and Rec activities, but a community as a whole. Because if we're going to find high interest, engaging things for kids, we're going to need a really broad continuum of experiences. Something that's really popular right now in our schools, board game club. Who'd have thought? Board games. Like, kids want to be together. They want to do this. And what's astonishing is so much of it is about being invitational and access and opportunity. And by working together, we can address things like cost, which is a significant barrier. We can address transportation, which is a significant barrier. And we can address just navigating systems. And some of our families, with all the things that they're dealing with, navigating a complicated website, trying to hunt down the right activity that has the right timing and the right experience, some of those become insurmountable odds for our kids. And so we want to work together to provide that. Through some funding with Launch Northwest, we're really grateful to be able to hire engagement navigators that will be working in each high school feeder pattern to then help create more connective tissue to get kids access to those experiences. We're really trying to leverage a neighborhood approach so that we're bringing people together in neighborhoods to talk about what programming is available, not just citywide, but how do we get kids specifically connected. Again, trying to address cost and transportation whenever possible. The good news is, when we do that, it works. We went from 900 kids to 4,000 kids playing youth basketball through these types of partnerships. That's not because kids just woke up one day and decided they wanted to play basketball. They've always wanted to play. But access and opportunity takes community work. So again, really grateful for you being here today, participating in this conversation. And this is a practical thing that we can do. Mental health therapists are infinitely important in our schools, and we have them. We have over 50 mental health therapists that work inside of our schools. And we cannot hire a mental health therapist for every kid. It is not practical, both physically, from a staffing perspective. We need practical opportunities to create universal interventions for our kids so that they can grow up happy and healthy. So with that, I'm really grateful to introduce Ben Small, who's been a partner along with the Inovia Foundation and Shelley O'Quinn to figure out how do we start connecting more dots and work together for these types of initiatives. Ben?
So I noticed on the way in a new sign that said there's a cell phone policy. So I'm going to take my cell phone out. I'm going to put it in the pouch. And by the way, every middle school student in Spokane Public Schools will now have an Engage in Real Life phone pouch. They can put it away. So I'll do that the rest of the day. The rest, yeah, well. I do. I want to carry this pouch around. It'd be fun. Thank you very much, Adam. Thank you so much for your partnership. At Launch Northwest, our mission is to galvanize entire communities to ensure that every child finds belonging and travels their best journey from birth to career attainment. Really important words. Belonging. Do our kids feel belonging and a sense of belonging, whatever space they're in Spokane? In school, in community, and then their best journey. Not a journey that is prescribed by us, but a journey that is charted by them. A journey that honors who they are. Guided by a cross-sector governance board called the Spokane County Leadership Council, we've collected data specific to that journey that a young person in Spokane County travels. Here's an overview of what we found. Well, let me look here. There it is. Kindergarten readiness continues to be an area of focus. Kindergarten readiness. Too many of our young people, too many of our children enter school without the skills ready to learn at the pace that is prescribed for them. Chronic absenteeism. In 2021-22, over 41% of students in Spokane County missed more than a month of school. Think about a month of school our children are missing. That number has improved. I think we're right at around 35%, but I don't think that's something that we should celebrate yet. But it does call us to look at different ways of meeting this challenge. Only 48% of graduates in Spokane County attend or pursue post-high school education as measured by 2- and 4-year college enrollment. And then underlining this data, these challenges, is an epidemic of youth suicide and suicide attempts in Spokane County. I'm going to share with you some numbers that are pretty staggering. In 2010, this is pre-pandemic, there were 54 suicide or suicide attempts for our Spokane County youth ages 10 to 17. Over the last several years, that number has increased to 550 in 2021. We are in the midst of a mental health crisis of our youth in Spokane County, and we cannot approach solutions to these challenges in the same way that we have approached them in the past. If we use those, if they were working, we wouldn't be where we're at. Our governance group searched for strategies that would allow us to have a cross-sector impact or a cross-pathway impact on these challenges that we face with our youth. And in partnership with Spokane Public Schools, Engage in Real Life was created. Today is not the introduction of a media campaign. If you thought this was about us just advertising opportunities for our young people and for our families, then you're wrong. Today is a call to action for us as a community to come together. We must act collectively. One agency or two agencies or even three agencies cannot solve this crisis alone. We must ask ourselves, how is the Spokane community showing up for our kids? In my time as a public school superintendent, I often heard people say, these kids today are so disrespectful. Or they have no work ethic. Or maybe even they can't even be bothered to show up to class. And maybe there's some superficial truth to those statements, but they don't tell the whole story. We're missing something. We as a community are missing something. We must flip the script. Instead of criticizing how our kids are showing up, we must ask instead, how are we as a community showing up for our kids? How are we as a community showing up for our kids? A very wise woman once said in one of our leadership council meetings, Stephanie Courtney said, maybe we're measuring this kindergarten readiness thing wrong. Maybe we should measure whether our community is ready for our kids. Right? Maybe we've had it backwards. How are we showing up for our kids? I mentioned that Engage in Real Life is a call to action. Launch Northwest, Spokane Public Schools, and our partners have come together to show up for our kids. We are doing so in ways outlined by Dr. Swinyer, and I'd like to introduce and talk to you about how we're going to build on what he has introduced. We've hired engagement navigators in the 5 feeder systems in Spokane Public Schools. And I would like you to come forward as I introduce you, please. Pat Donahue, he'll be working in the North Central feeder system. Pat, I'm here to tell you that there's lots of work ahead of you, and we at Engage in Real Life want to make sure you have the cool water to drink or a hot drink to rest for a little bit, and here's a Engage in Real Life Yeti for you. Austin Johnson and the Rogers. Stephanie, come on up, would you? I had my phone away and I didn't get the text message. Andrew Gardner in the Ferris feeder system. Crystal Medina and Lewis and Clark. Aaliyah Ashley Meek, Shadle Park. Now, if you look at those Yetis, there's a lot of white space. And what I expect to see is stickers from your high schools, your middle schools, and your elementary schools all over that Yeti by the end of the year. Congratulations and thank you for the work that you're going to do. These engagement navigators work directly with families and community organizations to create the connective tissue that is often missing. Additionally, we have partnered with cultural centers to help us ensure that every child has meaningful and culturally responsive out-of-school activities. So if you're here, please come forward. We've contracted with Nueces Raíces, Fernanda Masco, Carl Maxey Center, Jaleesa Winkler, Manzanita House, Pat Castaneda. And Latinos in Spokane, Jennifer Mesa. She just got married, I guess. And she's not here.
Honeymoon.
Thank you very much. In partnership with the City of Spokane, we will welcome 2 more engagement navigators from cultural centers in Spokane. We know that engagement and relational health begins much earlier than kindergarten. Our youngest of families can often feel isolated and alone. To work with these families, we've hired early childhood engagement specialists, and we've partnered with the following organizations: Shades of Motherhood, Stephanie Courtney. Glow Children Early Learning Center, Katie Jessup. Raise the Narrative, Kira Bauer. And then Refugee and Immigrant Connections, Catherine Garris. Thank you so much. Together we pledge to act to connect children and families to enriching activities and to the greater community. Our goal is to break down barriers such as cost and transportation while giving our youth-serving organizations a singular place to post events and activities and a place for families to access them. You might be asking yourself, when I leave here this morning, what can I do? What can I do? If your organization hosts youth activities or events, submit them to the Engage in Real Life website. If you're an employer, stress to your employees the need for children to be engaged in outside of school activities. How about sponsoring a team or activity? And it doesn't have to always be a sport. What if you sponsor an after-school STEM club? Allow your employees time to coach and teach. As families, work to balance time on social media with face-to-face interaction. We know that you can't take it all away, but we can create balance. So this is the website. You'll be able to go to that website and you can scroll down and you can start to see it's been populated by Spokane Public Schools information and also Parks and Recreation information. As a parent, you'll be able to search this website to say, hey, I would love an early learning activity or early learning program for my kid, and I live in this neighborhood. You filter that and it's going to show you those activities. Again, breaking down the barriers to get our families engaged. Imagine with me a future when a young family new to Spokane is met by one of our navigators. They're linked to resources such as our cultural centers, schools, health care providers, neighborhood groups, and community centers. When they enter their school, they put together an in real life plan. The SPS navigators introduce them to the Engage in Real Life website. Further, they're made aware of after-school clubs and choose an option to join. Our message is strong. In Spokane, everyone belongs. And we encourage and support you to be active in all that our community offers. There's no power for change greater than a community discovering what it cares about. By Margaret Wheatley quote. Through Engage in Real Life, we invite you to join us. Together we can do this. Let's get to work. And if you think that this is just something that we've kind of made up here in Spokane, and it's just so simple, this is gaining national attention. There's articles, I think Adam was on Newsmax the other day. There's an AP article around what it is that we're trying to do. There's something here that's magical. Let's get to work. It's my pleasure to introduce a community leader who has devoted her life to public service. After I retired from public education, she asked me to come to Innovia and lead the Launch Northwest effort. Please welcome Shelley O'Quinn. take my phone.
I think he is intent to put it away for the day so that he can ignore the rest of us. Good morning, my name is Shelley O'Quinn. I'm CEO of the Novia Foundation, and it's great to see so many familiar faces in the room. Before I get started, I just want to have us give a big thanks to the band this morning for being here. I'm a little biased. I've been a band mom for the last 6 years. And my son is now headed off to college, Western Washington University, because that's where his band teacher went. So I happen to know the impact of these engaged in real life activities on my own kids, and it's just fun to see, and thanks for being here. I also want to say a big congratulations to Ben and Adam and their teams who have worked really hard over the last several months to put this together. It's fun today to be able to come together and celebrate and reveal an initiative that's truly going to change the lives of young people in our region. But the real work behind the scenes has taken months and months. And if anyone thinks that partnership is easy, then they truly haven't partnered. But it's the only way that we can actually make things happen is when we come together as organizations and we work together for a common goal for our community, and that's what's happened. The Novia Foundation is your community foundation, and our mission is to ignite generosity that transforms the lives and communities in this region. And our work really focuses on 3 values: be innovative, be inclusive, and be collaborative. Because the only way that we make true long-term lasting change in our community is to bring all of those together. And I believe that the Engage in Real Life initiative is just that. It is truly an initiative that is more than one school district, more than one nonprofit, more than one community partner. It's all of us coming together in an innovative partnership to address a need that Adam and Ben have so clearly laid out in our region. And it's local government, it's our nonprofits, it's our business community, it's our school districts, and it's community volunteers who are coming together to make this happen and have that positive impact in kids' lives, to ensure that it's every child every day that has access and opportunity. This next year, you're going to see a Novia Foundation making additional investments into our community and into the organizations that you see here today to impact young people's lives. But the financial investment is just one piece. It goes way beyond that. We need people. We need all of you. And I know Ben touched on this, and so did Adam, when they have said we cannot do this work alone. Funding, again, is only one piece. We need the people who will step up and be den mothers, who will step up and be coaches, who will be theater hands, who will help with the band. We need all of you to step up and engage. And so I did just encourage you to think about what can you personally do, and then what can you do to ignite the generosity of others. Is there a church group you can engage with? Is there a nonprofit group that you can call? What are you doing in your neighborhood? Can you rally your neighborhood to actually help support that neighborhood school? Because all of the nonprofits in this room and in this community and our school district partners, they cannot do this work without all of you. So I would encourage you today to step up and join us in this community-wide effort to ensure that every kid every day has an opportunity to engage in real life. Thank you. And now it's my privilege to invite to you both a friend and community leader, Dr. Velasquez, who is with the Spokane Regional Health District.
I'm shorter. Good morning, everyone. Pleasure to be here today. It's an honor to be part of this effort. And before I begin some brief remarks, I just want to say thank you to all of the partners, community partners, and friends that I see here, because it is not the first time that Spokane comes together to do something good and important. And I can't think of anything more important than the future. And as we all know, the future sits in the classrooms, here and in all our schools around the county. So because of that, and because of our long partnership with the Spokane Public Schools, I'm very happy to be here on behalf of the Spokane Regional Health District and talk a little bit about the issue that Adam described. As we all know, those are parents or grandparents. Parenting nowadays around media can be a little bit complicated for a variety of reasons. Many of us may be a surprise to you, but did not grow up with social media or computers. I know. Amazing, huh? Although I did not, just kidding. I did not. But there is a lot of technology that is part of life and our kids are using today. And it is important for us to be able to work within that context. Although it would be nice to have a simple solution like maybe a limit, I don't know, 2-hour limit like it's been suggested before. We all know that every child is a universe, and a blanket approach may not really address the unique needs and opportunities of your child, or any child. Because of these challenges, we as community, we as parents, we as teachers, we as grandparents, I can say that, I couldn't say that 3 years ago, meaning grandparent, in case you were wondering. Because of these challenges, we have to have an open, positive, and collaborative approach. And collaborative is a word that is used very often to describe Spokane. The whole family needs to participate. The whole family needs to have a media plan, social media plan. And the family can be a household or a whole bunch of people, extended family, a community, a neighborhood. It doesn't really matter. We need to be intentional about it. We need to keep the lines of communication open so children, as they experience activities in social media, are willing and happy to share with us what they see, what they have shared, and what they have learned. Technology will continue to advance, there's no question about it, that's actually a good thing. And a collaborative approach with families that will help families grow, learn, set boundaries, and very importantly, find a balance together is critical. And I know someone before me used the word balance, and I think that is the magical word, balance. We know that there are benefits to social media. The exposure to new ideas, knowledge, increased opportunities for connectivity, social contact, support, and new opportunities to access health messages and information, like many of the things we share through the Spokane Regional Health District social media platforms, which are very important. If you haven't seen them, you should check them out. But we also know that there are some risks. We do know that there are negative health effects, as has been mentioned, such as weight and sleep. Sleep deprivation is an issue for many of our young children and young adults. There's also exposure to inaccurate, inappropriate, and sometimes downright unsafe content. Not to mention that they may be compromising their privacy and confidentiality, because as we know, there are bad actors out there looking for information. To find balance, we can set boundaries on what social media we're exposed and how much. And when I say we, it means we all need to be an example. So I think then, I don't even have a cell phone, see? Actually, Kelly's holding that for me. Hey, I'm on 24/7, I have to have my phone with me. But to find that balance, we can set boundaries on what social media we all are exposed to. We can include time in our day for sports, arts, nature, in-person conversations. What a concept. Talk to someone. And if you're old enough, sit down and have a orange juice or a coffee and talk to someone. I like coffee, that was me. Having a nice mix of activities and connectedness can promote better health, wellness, prevent isolation, which is a key issue nowadays, and limit the feelings of anxiety and depression. Do game night, family game night. Someone mentioned board games. Great idea. I'm not really good at them, although no one wants to play Trivial Pursuit with me for some reason, I don't know why. Now, I wanted to highlight that we at the Spokane Regional Health District do try to learn from the community and apply balance to everything we do. And there are a number of programs and activities that do have a positive impact and can be helpful as we look at this. So let's talk about a couple of those. For example, could be our public health nurses that help new parents within the Nurse Family Partnership Program up to the age of 2. Important formative years, right? It could be working with our schools, as we do very closely, and community organizations on how to incorporate activities or frameworks such as HOPE. I just got a thumbs up from the audience, which is good. And if you don't know, HOPE stands for Healthy Outcomes from Positive Experiences. And we can talk about a framework offline. Ensuring access to healthy food options at our work locations. Nutrition is extremely important as part of growing up healthy. And sometimes counseling our patients in treatment services with mental health is somewhat fragile as they overcome opioid disorder, use disorder, which is a reality of life nowadays. But you know, there is hope and there's treatment and there's success, and that's what we have to remember. Through this and all of the programs that work with families in our community, we are incorporating the importance of healthy living, which includes how we interact with social media, which, as I mentioned, is a reality of life. We are very excited to partner today and continue our long-term partnership with the Spokane Public Schools, and today specifically to further promote health and wellness activities and encourage balance when it comes to our social media activity for a happier and healthier community for everyone. So as you walk into the school, the first thing you see is this beautiful playground. You see it? With the logs and, yeah? First thing that came to my mind is I had to bring my grandson, who's 3.5 and loves to climb stuff. I didn't take a picture. You know why? I'm just gonna bring him and show it to him, so he can engage in the activity. So let's think about what we can do as a community to help the future of this community and the future of this country, which is sitting here. And thank you again to the Spokane Public Schools for allowing us to be partners in this and many other issues. And now it will be my pleasure to introduce someone that doesn't need introduction, but I will introduce her anyway, Commissioner Mary Cuny.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you all for being here today, because it is really an important thing for us to all be here. And I saw my fellow commissioner, Chris Jordan, who came in. There he is in the back. Because even for me as commissioner, I can't do this without the other commissioners all agreeing to invest these funds. So today, I'm super excited because investing in youth has been a personal passion of mine as a former board member of the Boys and Girls Club, Hutton Settlement, and now with Launch Northwest. My mom grew up in an orphanage and taught me that your future is all about having hope and finding one's passion. So as County Commissioner, Spokane County has heavily invested in the youth of our community. We are proud to invest our ARP dollars into Launch Northwest and see these funds reinvested into engage in real life today. As a mom of an Eagle Scout, I know the value of real life activities. And I'm very excited for Launch Northwest and Spokane Public Schools and others to be joining efforts to provide activities for our youth. I want every child to have that hope for their future, find their passion. Experiences that they will receive from Engage in Real Life will help them do just that. So congratulations to all of you who are embarking on this bold new adventure with the youth of our community. Thank you. Wait. I get introduce the mayor of Spokane, who we get to collaborate on a lot. I think people sometimes think we don't, and I want to say that she has become a friend and a collaborator, and so Mayor Lisa Brown.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. I have 3 quick messages. One, leadership matters, and this community is at its best when we take something on that's big and people think can't be done. We did it 50 years ago with Expo and creating a World's Fair. I helped be part of an amazing thing when they said, oh no, you can't create another medical school in the state of Washington, and we did it, and it's headquartered right here in Spokane. And I just want to give a shout out. There's always many people that are part of it, but the leadership really matters. So Nikki, Adam, and your teams, you're taking on this amazing, huge goal, and it's bold, and there's always the chance that it's not going to work out, but you're doing it because you are going to the mat for our kids. And I just want to thank you, and I want you to join me in thanking you. It works. Engagement works. It works for me in a rural community, a very economically challenged background and family, and it worked. Despite rotating shift work that meant that he was continually sleep deprived. My dad coached girls softball, and my mom, also overwhelmed economically and with 5 kids, decided to be the leader of the Bluebird group. And then when they couldn't actually take that on anymore, teachers stepped in and made all the difference for me. French club, drama club, I'm sure you can imagine that, and the newspaper. All of that really mattered for me. It mattered for my son when I was a single parent, and it matters for all of our kids. So we know it works. My final message is partnership is essential to really make it work, partnership and action. The city is all in. Garrett Jones is here, our city administrator and parks director, and he and Adam are steaming, and you are going to hear about some innovative leveraging of resources between the city of Spokane and Spokane Public Schools that is really going to expand the infrastructure that Adam was talking about. Our city neighborhood housing and human services, libraries, and the whole city cabinet, our community centers, we are all in with this effort. And a few weeks ago when I was at Holmes Elementary after school with a nonprofit working with kids, making those kids, they were helping those kids write their own newspaper and publish their own newspaper. And those kids interviewed me with tougher questions than the media interview me. And that's our future. I'm so excited about it. So once again, leadership matters for our children, engagement works for our children, and partnership is essential for our children. Thank you. And speaking of partner and scheming, at the state level, we have great resources in Representative Marcus Riccelli, advocate for health, advocate for healthy food for our kids, and also one of my partners in that medical school endeavor, Representative Marcus Riccelli.
Somebody once told me if you run up to the mic and then run when you're done, that's all they'll remember. So I'm trying to show some energy today. Everybody stand up for a second. Okay, I'm the chair of the House Healthcare Committee. We've been sitting for like 45 minutes. Okay, let's keep this thing going. I'm gonna be really brief. I wrote remarks. Oh, you can sit down, sorry. I should have just said, and thank you for all, saying yes to whatever. I wrote some remarks. I'm not gonna use them today because this is something near and dear to my heart. I would say that it's very appropriate to be in a Spokane Public Schools school to be talking about this, particularly because about 4 years ago when we decided to start talking about how we're going to feed every kid for free breakfast and lunch, Spokane Public Schools, Director Lockwood, Dr. Swinger stepped up, and now every kid has meals. We know that food is health as well. So I think it's appropriate that once again, Spokane Public Schools, Launch Northwest in this community is showing leadership. I'm a House member, chair of the Healthcare Committee, but more importantly, I'm the dad of a high schooler now, starting very shortly in a middle schooler. We know what the pandemic did for our young people. It was real tough for my son. We gave him a phone way earlier than we wanted to so that we could stay connected with his kids, but now we've been working to balance that in those draws. I'm a soccer coach. I coached the YMCA Youth Legislature. We can see, and let me tell you about the YMCA Youth Legislature. I would put those kids against pretty much any kids in a debate. not just kids, but adults and probably some of my colleagues in the legislature after they go through that program and what they can do. So these activities, they draw people in. But I want to say something that's really important because I see 4 younger people, some students here in the front row. As we're developing these programs, they're going to choose with their feet. So let's make sure we're not just talking about what they need, and let's bring them into the development of those programs because we know they're going to be successful. So thank you all for being here. And there's real consequences out there. It's not just about athletics. It's about math is cool. It's about YNT legislature. It's about clubs that are doing board games, science, STEM stuff. But let me be clear with you. We have an obesity and diabetes epidemic that's slating this generation of kids, the first generation, not to outlive their parents. And that should be really, really concerning to all of us and scary. So with that, with also the mental health challenges, as Dr. Swinger said, we're not going to be, all right, I can't remember, or Ben, one of them said, my short attention span because I'm addicted to my phone, but said that we're not going to be able to provide counselors for every single student. So they need peers, they need adults that care, and it's not just about right now and their mental health and their physical well-being. They need the soft skills, they need to be able to talk to each other, and they need the support. So I'll just leave you with one thing. As a coach, my favorite thing in the world is the high five that comes not from the best athlete on the field when they score a goal, but from the best athlete on the field when the one who struggles scores their first goal, and the joy that they feel sometimes is more joy than that player does for it. And that's what we need. We need kids to feel that connection, because we know if they feel that connection, they'll be engaged. We know if they do these clubs that they'll be able to pursue their academic endeavor to the fullest, and we know that they're going to, be healthier and better off. So I'm excited about this. I even wore my Sporty Spice shoes today. I was going to bring a soccer ball and try and juggle it the whole time while I was here, but I thought that might end in some sort of failure. But I want to thank the school district. I want to thank Launch Northwest, the community, for stepping up. I see a lot of community leaders in this room. I see my colleague. I know we talked about Commissioner Jordan. I see Representative Schmidt here too. Look, we're not here just because we like to come to cool events, because some of us, are on the ballot. We're here because you're our mirror, and our kids are our best mirror to how we're doing, and we need to be accountable. So that's why I'm here today. So let's get it done. Thanks. And before I introduce Council President Wilkerson, as part of today, she has challenged me to want to dance off at some point, so we'll do that for this. But then I'm going to take her on the basketball court. So let's go.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Woo! Y'all got to wake up a little bit. Representative Chumley didn't do a good enough job. I'm not going to have you stand up, though. Good morning. I'm so honored to be here. I am Betsy Wilkerson, your council president, and Spokane City Council. I think my other council member, Zach Zapone, is sitting in the back there, who is an educator himself. We are so glad to be a part of this. When your city council came and heard about Launch Northwest, we were excited. I will tell you, we were one of the first ones to put in over $5 million to launch this program. Now, money's not everything, but everybody knows it helps, right? I get to speak to you from a very unique position because I was on the Innovia board when this idea first came up. It's about 6 years ago? 5. See, that's what happens when you get old. 5 years ago, this idea came to the Innovia board, and we were all sitting around the table, and we're thinking, I don't know if we could do this. And the money and all the planning that was going to go into it, and the collaborations, and we were kind of grousing about it and dragging our feet because it was something new. All those who serve on committees know when something new comes, what happens? I don't know if we can do this. We've never done it before, and we don't have any money. But I am so glad to have been part of an organization that had vision for our community. I am so glad to be part of a community that has visions for its community. And I gotta say, we've been talking about our kids and the challenges they face and the opportunities they face. How many went to Spokane Public Schools in here, or public school period? Who went to public school? Now, if they can be successful with y'all, you know we got hope for young people today, right? So if we did it before, we can do it again, Spokane. But I want to say to the community partners, we know education doesn't just happen in these four walls. Kids just don't live in the schools. They have a community they go home to. And those are the others that have to come along beside of us in this world of education and help. Somebody said it starts in school. I will tell you it starts in daycare. Yes. That's where we start investing in our kids. They need that foundation to go forward. So I'm excited about being a part of this. In Spokane, we all belong. And somebody please take my phones. I'll give them up right now. With that, I'm going to bring up Rick Bex, and we are so happy, Spokane City Council. And remember, community is not, that's just a word. Who is community? Really, who is community? You and me. So start owning that word. I am community, not somebody else, me. And when I finish this job, I'm going to be the lunch lady at the high school. So I'm excited about that. Rick Bex, come on up. Thank you all.
I'm the last presenter today. Made me think of the DNC. Anybody watch that? And I'm the James Taylor guy. If these guys went too long, then I get cut. So I was pretty impressed that you stuck to the time schedule. The other thing about being the last presenter is what do you say? It's pretty much all been said by now. But what I would say this is what's up there, and that is what I found is especially important about young kids getting involved in activities is it becomes a habit. And then that continues on, as you age, become an adult, and, ultimately I'm a granddad. So I think of all the presenters here, and I'm pretty sure if we could look back at what they were doing when they were in grade school and high school, they were pretty involved. What is it? Every day, every kid. And I think that's what this is all about. Now, my role representing Spokane Hoop Fest is to talk about sports, and Marcus, a few of the others have mentioned that a little bit. But I think what's interesting about sports, and sometimes we lose track of, is it's not about, the importance of it is not about those star athletes. It's really for everybody. If there's one activity every kid should be involved in, it's sports. And why is that? It's the pathway to fitness and health and how you choose to spend your time recreationally. And so at Hoop Fest, we're kind of all about that. I think we're into our 35th year now. And the thing that's just so great about it as an event is it's for everybody. I don't know what could be more diverse of an event than Hoop Fest. We've got it all, the good and the bad, for sure. And, but we also, because of Hoop Fest as an organization, we're able to be a great community partner with the schools. And so that started a couple of years ago. Adam and another guy, Mike Nilsson, former Gonzaga player, really cooked up this idea of Hoop Fest providing the infrastructure for grade school basketball. And, and Adam mentioned this a little bit, essentially, even in the very first year, we doubled the number of young kids that were playing basketball, and we cut the cost roughly in half of what those other alternatives are. And so, right now we've got approximately 4,000 kids playing, and it isn't about who's going to be the star, because not very many of them are going to be. I mean, your odds of playing Division I basketball as a kid are, pretty slim. But as an organization, we've got the resources, the people, the expertise, and really kind of the passion to make it a really great thing. And so it's really kind of the coming together with the schools who have the facilities and the connections to the families. And so HooFest has been thrilled to do HYL, and hopefully it'll go on for many more years. So anyway, we're glad to be a part of this, and hopefully our students and adults of the future will develop these great habits that come from being involved in really fantastic activities. So with that, I'm done with my 2 minutes, and I'll introduce Adam to close her down.
Thank you again for being here, and thank you to all of our presenters. And we're going to get out of here just maybe a little over an hour, but it was so important because, as the mayor mentioned, collaboration. There's no one in this room that can achieve the ambitious goal that we've set for every kid every day to be engaged in something after school. There's no way that's possible unless we work together. And everybody has a piece in this, whether you are a parent, a grandparent, a neighbor, an uncle, an aunt, a friend. And I see some business leaders in here, some that spend a lot of time talking about workforce. Right now, ages 18 to 24, lowest workforce participation in the history of the United States. Where are they? Lots of reasons. I would venture one significant factor is being isolated, being on a screen, being by yourself, not being active outside of your home. That has become normalized. It is seeped into the psyche of our culture. And we have this unique opportunity in Spokane to change that trajectory through collaboration, through partnership. So what's going to happen next? Because there's a lot of talking. What's next? A web. Let's do it. Let's do it. Call to action. A website's going to post. Community directory. We need partners to submit their content. Every kid at their back to school conference is going to fill out an engaged real life plan. Let's just not talk about it. Let's come up with a plan, right? An idea is really just an idea unless there's action associated with it. Our engagement navigators are going to start building connective tissue in our school, and we need a call to action. Thank you, Council President. We need people. We need loving, caring adults. We ran out of coaches for HYL last year. We were 12 short. We need club advisors. We need mentors. So that is work that everybody can touch. And you may be a boss that doesn't have the time, but you can give your employees the opportunity to donate some of their time. So we need action, and we need everybody to play a role in it. So our last agenda item is Ben's going to come up. We have some amazing kids from Yasuhara Middle School, and symbolism matters. And so we have a plaque and a visual that really, again, reflects what this is all about, and will become an anchor for us to remember that together we can change the trajectory for youth in our community.
Thank you, Adam, and if our ASD leaders will come on up, I'm going to have you introduce yourself, and then we're going to do the big reveal.
Hello and good morning, everybody. I am Aaliyah, and I am from Yasuhara Middle School. Allow me to introduce my ASB representatives, Joe, Kyron, and King. We are proud to be here today to reveal the IRL logo for you all. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Hold on before you guys get back to your chairs. You've got a lot of work to do too, and you're going to get tired, and you're going to need some refreshments. So here's an engage in real life And does anybody want my pencil pouch? Yeah, I do. Here you go.
They're going to see a lot of those pictures.
Thank you very much for being here today.